Another real benefit to the Chapter 13, I've already kind of alluded to this in the other sections, is that it addresses all kinds of debts at the same time, not just the mortgage debt, but it also addresses other types of debts. And the first type of debt we call priority debt, which for most of you is probably going to be the IRS. What do you do about the IRS? Let's say you owe them 10 grand and they want their money. If you do it in a Chapter 13, you can pay them back over the life of the plan too. So up to 5 years, you can pay back the IRS and they can't do anything about it. The good thing about that is that while you're in the 13, they can't impose any late fees, no penalties, no taxes, nothing. And the IRS, they're like loan sharks, and they impose all kind of penalties. And they're probably going to get me when they see this video, but they have all types of penalties, late filing penalties, and et cetera, et cetera. And all of that is zeroed out when we file the bankruptcy. They can't do it going forward, right? So it's a beautiful thing in there. The second type of debt that addresses are secured debts. So let's say you have a car loan that you have, it's $700 a month. In fact, I'm going to use the same people I saw just the other day with the $6,000 a month mortgage obligation. They also had a $700 a month car payment that had a couple of years left on it. What I can do in a Chapter 13 is spread out the debt obligation over the 5 years. And so I was able to lower their payment because it was going to be paid off in 2 years. Instead, I stretched that out to 5 years. They also had a 10% interest rate. I was able to lower the interest rate down to 5.25 in the Chapter 13. So I can rearrange secured debt as well. Secured debt, typically cars in the bankruptcy process. And so that can be a very valuable tool. The final thing it does is address unsecured debts. And I've kind of alluded to that earlier. You may have $100,000 in credit card debt. I may be paying back 1% of that in the Chapter 13. Now, there are various things that go into the calculation about how much you pay back, and that's again why you really need a good bankruptcy attorney to do this. But let's say it's a 1%. So instead of $100,000, you may be paying back $1,000 of the $100,000 over 5 years, and that's a wonderful settlement of unsecured debt. And so that's why Chapter 13 is kind of an overall comprehensive reorganization of all of your debt, and it's a very, very, very powerful tool, especially in the mortgage situation. So it's something you need to consider in your toolbox. Remember, it's a tool. Don't get emotional on me. It's a tool. It's a business tool that you can use to help yourself and your family.